Oh boy. I'm moving tomorrow. I wonder how mad Eden would be if I reserve a spot on the moving truck for this. So I brought the car over, but this pallet is so big that it doesn't fit inside. So I knocked on their door. They're okay with me leaving it inside their fence until tomorrow when I have the U-Haul. Then I'll use that to pick it up. Oh, there it is. Okay. There it is. So I have a confession.
What happened? No, did you sell the table?
No, I got a pallet.
Morally.
It was perfect and it was on the way. I saw it yesterday. Eden, look, there's so much space in here. Look. I think we have plenty of room.
4 to 6 weeks later.
Let's take this thing apart. All right, one down. You can tell this is a hardwood pallet because number one, the wood is just clearly hardwood.
You can tell that it's an aspen tree because of the way it is.
But also just how difficult it is to get the nails out. If this was pine, I would just be cracking every single board before the nails even came out. Let's get all these nails out. So some of our pieces, like this one, cracked along the grain when we took apart the pallet, but no worries, we can just glue it back together and it should be plenty strong. Let's do it. Let's do some planing. Well, my bucket dust collector clearly can't keep up with the chip output from this thing, so we're just not going to use it. So here is the haul. Luckily, this entire pallet was made of this really cool hardwood. Some of this has super interesting grain that I definitely want to highlight in the final piece. And I think I have enough wood here to make a kitchen table. I want to make a circular kitchen table that's about 4 feet in diameter. And I think I have enough wood here to make the whole thing, including the legs. Let's start trimming up these pieces. So I don't want to cut all of the slats into strips. Some of the pieces, like this one and this one, have really cool knots and grain patterns that I want to highlight on the tabletop. So I want to keep these ones whole, but the thing with pallet wood is that none of these slats have flat edges. So if we want to glue these edge to edge to make a tabletop, we need to flatten these first. Now, I don't have a jointer, so I made a super simple jointing jig for my table saw. This was so easy, and that should give us nice flat edges on these pieces. Let's do it. That worked so well. Table saw jointing jig, absolute game changer. Now that I have one flat edge on all these boards, I can put that edge against the fence to get a second flat edge on the table saw. Let's do it. So I spent some time arranging the boards, trying to get a nice variation of color across the table. And I ended up with this layout that I really like. I think this is gonna make such a beautiful dining table. But if we just glue these up and cut out a circle, we're gonna end up with a pretty thin table. So what I did was I used my circle jig with a router to cut a circle out of 3/4 inch plywood, and we're gonna use that as a base. That extra thickness will make the table feel more substantial and high quality, and definitely add some strength, which is never a bad thing. So I think at this point, we're ready for the glue up, but it's a little too cold outside for the glue to actually cure. So we're gonna move everything inside and do it in there. So we wanna glue this up in 12-inch sections so that we can fit each one through the planer. So that one's too wide. Ooh, this is actually gonna be a little tricky because of our divisions. I think we can get away with like 12.5. Yeah, we should be okay. Let's do that. So this will be 1. There's 2. See, that one's, ooh, it's a little big. I don't want to sacrifice my layout, but this one is like 12.75 inch. You know what? We'll just glue this board on separately at the end. First glue up, let's do it. Kind of starting to regret buying these super long pipes and no shorter ones, because this is just gonna tip that way. Oh, if I flip one around, it'll pull it the other way, and then it will be balanced. Duh. Oh, is the room wide enough? Because now we're hitting the counter on that side. Why did I get the longest possible pipes? Ow! Oh! Oh my gosh, this is annoying. You know what, if I rotate the whole thing, then I have more room this way. Oh my, okay, Jesus. Most chaotic glue up of all time. Oh, this is just part of the learning process. Okay, what am I doing? Let's move this. Oh. Okay, tilt that way. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now everyone's cooperating. Oh my God, these are so long. Don't hit the brand new expensive couch. There we go. That ought to be enough clamps. Beautiful. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 sections, plus our single lonely board. Let's plane these bad boys. That looks awesome. Oh, this is gonna be so pretty. I think we're ready to glue these together. Let's do it. Moment of truth. Woohoo! Check it out. That looks so good. So now we can flip this over. Grab our circle. So, as you might have already noticed, our plywood circle is overhanging our slats ever so slightly on the edge. After jointing a bunch of these slats and gluing them together, they just ended up a little less wide than I expected. It's so slight, it's 1/8 of an inch on the edge. So before we do anything else, we gotta shave just a hair off this plywood circle. Let's do it. Whew. So I maxed out the cutting depth of this circle jig, so I'm gonna switch to a flush trim bit and finish this off. Let's do it. All right, moment of truth. Oh boy, this is heavy. Woo! That looks awesome. You already know what time it is. So the table's starting to look really nice, but at this point, I'm kind of stalled. I'm waiting for some supplies to arrive, and I can't really do anything else to the tabletop until they get here. So while we wait for those to arrive, we're gonna switch gears. Remember these guys? These are gonna be the legs. And these narrow edges are still really rough. So first things first, we're gonna clean those up on the jointing jig. Let's do it. This is gonna look awesome. So one of the supplies I was waiting on just arrived. This is a steam generator, and we're gonna use it to bend wood to make a border for the tabletop. But before we can do that, we need to make a steam box, so let's get to it. Boom, steam box. To actually make the border, I picked up this piece of oak. I read online that oak is really good for steam bending, plus I think this looks really nice. This is an 8-foot 1x4, and I'm gonna rip it in half. That should give us plenty of wood to make the full ring. Let's do it. So I have dowels in there to support the wood in the center of the chamber so that the steam can completely surround it. The steam generator's going, so we're gonna leave that for about an hour, and hopefully those pieces will be pliable enough to bend around the table. All right, the wood's been steaming for about an hour. Let's take it out and see how pliable it is. All right, is it bendy? Ooh, that's pretty bendy. All right, let's do this. Oh, this is big. All right. Oh my God, how am I gonna do this? I have no idea how time sensitive this is. Yes, okay. That side's not coming in at all though. This one, oh, I wonder if I can just take this off now. Oh boy, okay. Oh no. Okay. I think at this point, I'm gonna straighten this one out a little bit, throw it back in the steamer, and use the other one so it's as pliable as possible. And this time I'll make sure I'm ready before I start. Okay, let's get this guy back in there. All right, now I got my straps properly set up. Let's go get the other board, the one that is still nice and steamy. All right, there is our fresh board. in the straps on both ends. Pull this one. Oh, yes, there we go. Oh, no. Okay. Spoke too soon. I feel like a sailor rigging a ship. Dang it. I know we can do it. It's just hard to do this by yourself. I feel like we need a way to lock it in once we reach a certain point. Like, what do we do now that we're here? We can't rotate it. I guess, oh, I could drill. I could put some screws in here. Okay, it's resting against the screws. Great. Pull the slack in and then retighten it. So this is working. Oh, Jesus Christ. Ooh. Oh, I just snapped a screw. Oh my God. All right, it's starting to get dark, but I want to try one more thing before I pack it in for the night. I screwed a bunch of stops all the way around the table, which I'm pretty sure is the proper way you're actually supposed to steam bend, and hopefully that'll give us enough leverage to bend the piece all the way around. Now, the first piece that I've tried has been back in the steamer for like half an hour, so it should be pliable again. I hope this works. Let's try it. All right, here's the first piece in the stop. Ooh, whole table's moving. There we go. Slowly but surely. Okay, this is kind of working. Steam bending is a full body workout. I should have screwed this down first. Okay, 2 seconds. I'm gonna put this back in the steam box, screw this in from the bottom so it's not shifting around, then we'll try it once more. Take 2, or 4, or whatever this is. Oh, we just broke that piece. That one. Okay. Okay, that one broke too. I should have used plywood for these stoppers. Oh my God. Secondary lesson learned. These stoppers cannot be made from pine. These need to be like 2 screws plywood. I don't know, do I try it one more time? I'm gonna try to make the stoppers and we'll see if we have time to try one more. All right, so I replaced all the pine stoppers with plywood ones and put 2 screws in each of those, so hopefully now they won't just crack the moment force is applied. And I think we have enough light for one more try. I'm really hoping this works this time. Let's do it. Come on. One more stopper. Ah, yes. Okay, let's get the strap clamp on. There we go. That's pulling it in. Okay. I think that's as bent as that one's gonna get. We kind of did it. I'm just hoping we can bend the other one and piece them together. All right, kind of a success. So last night after I stopped filming, I added these 2 pipe clamps, and I'm really happy that I did. They evened out the curve and they restricted the ends, which is the most important part. So the second piece is steaming right now. Let's take this off and cross our fingers that it doesn't spring back too much. All right, here's the real moment of truth. Let's release the strap clamps. Ooh. Oh, dang. Okay, that is a lot more spring back than I was hoping for. I don't know, I'm thinking, like, it's still pretty flexible. So I'm hoping that when we like attach it to the table, we can bend it and glue it in place. But that's a little disappointing. I'm gonna put it in a pipe clamp and leave it there until we're ready for the glue up. That way we can at least keep a bit of a stronger curve on it. I'm feeling more optimistic. I think we're gonna be able to make this work. So this time I left the board in the steam box for a full 2 hours. Hopefully that'll make it more pliable and spring back less. I'm feeling good. Let's do this. so this piece has been in the clamps for a full 2 days. Let's take off the clamps and see how much it springs back. I feel like it's still gonna spring back a lot. Oh. Ooh. I don't know, maybe that's just like wishful thinking, but that seems better than the last one. Look at that, that is a nice, almost ring. All right, so we are ready to glue the first piece of bent oak onto the edge. I cut the ends at 45 so I can splice the two pieces together. I drilled holes every 6 inches. Hopefully that will pull this not quite circular curve into a circle. This is the second piece that I bent since it turned out better than the first, and I thought might as well start on a high note. I'm feeling optimistic. I think we're gonna be able to bend this in place with a screw every 6 inches. I think we're gonna be good. Nice, healthy amount of glue. Okay. Let's put a nice, long 3-inch wood screw in there. Yeah, that works. Maybe I should just use my body here instead of this clamp. If I just push here, I can probably get, oh yeah, I can close the gap if I just pull into the table. There we go. Yeah, that does it. Okay, next lesson learned, using your body. This is gonna be so pretty. Lovely. All right, here's our second piece cut to length. This is from the first piece that we steam bent, and I can already tell it's not bent as tightly as the one we just attached. So I'm a little nervous, but I have a plan. We'll link it under the last one. All right, it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Yes, clamps. That's why you start with the easy one. Ooh, this is a tight one. Getting some creaking. The problem I'm having is that I made my screw holes right in the middle of the oak, which was definitely a mistake because some of the screws are going right between the boards and they don't hold very strong. So I've been having to re-drill some of these holes. That was a stupid mistake. I'm so grateful that these screws are holding because there is a lot of pressure on them. All right, boom. So you probably noticed that we have a big old gap right here. That was on purpose because I didn't think I would be able to cut this piece to the exact length so that when I bent it around, it would match up perfectly right there. So I cut it short and then made this little keystone piece to fit right there. And because we cut it like this, I'm hoping that it will pull those two ends in if we screw it together correctly. Let's do it. So I want to start by pinning this in place in the middle. And I'm wondering if I put some screws on there, if that's going to pull it in, but I feel like we might be at the limit of this guy. I don't want to start splitting wood. At this point, this might be a job for wood filler and sanding, and this is the side that faces the wall. You live and you learn. So like I mentioned earlier, I want to highlight some of those knots. So instead of filling them with wood glue and sawdust, I'm going to fill them with epoxy. I think just a few drops. Ooh, wow, that is effective. I mean, that is already like opaque. Well, I got my work cut out for me. So we're gonna be finishing this with Total Bolt Halcyon. This is a clear varnish, super easy to apply. Let's get to it.
gosh, it's beautiful.
Now give me the beat.
This is the biggest, most difficult, most frustrating table I've ever built, but it was so worth it. This thing looks awesome. Oh, and by the way, I'm not selling this one. This table was for us. Gonna have lots of good meals on this thing. If you would like to see what I'm up to behind the scenes, you can gain exclusive access to the behind the scenes Instagram page by supporting this channel on Patreon. I would like to give a special thank you to my top supporter on Patreon, my mom, Kathy Kurt. Thanks, Mom, I love you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.